get someone put away and for the media to shun you for those of it.
Australian bird, isolation.
The deadly coronavirus. And nothing's...
Like he's, given up, and I think that's about the size. But that was pretty well the end of your hobby, and he was, of course, a great age.
BK3JB. All noted and very interesting, especially about the insulators, John. And nothing further here, so thanks for running it this morning, Roy. Drew. And good morning to you all. BK3CKL, BK3JB. Right, thanks there, Barry. VK3JB, VK.
Well, it's even colder in this part of the world now. I think it might even snow. It's got that feel to it. But then again, we are walking through the open woodland of the Errinunda Plateau. Well, we want to take a look at the BC 348, an aircraft receiver from the Second World War. Now, this one's got quite a story. It was saved from a bomber in Brisbane, apparently, at the end of the war, by Mr. B, and it's been sort of in constant use ever since, until Mr. B left this reality at the age of 96. It hasn't been modified at all, so we can have a look at it, see what the performance is like. Actually, it's pretty good. It just shows what these sets are like if they haven't been modified and hamised. So there we are. We'll have a look at almost pristine BC 348 Cube. 100,000 sets were made by various radio manufacturers, but the vast majority were from the Wells Gardner Company.
Hello, Skipper. Hello, Navigator. Half a minute to go. Okay, thanks very much.
They were used in aeroplanes like the Flying Fortress.
Okay, keep weaving, Cam. There's quite another nice stuff coming up.
These are some typical setups they would have had in the aeroplanes.
As well, falling off a bit low.
He might have been going on his last mission.
Hello, engineer. Skipper here. Yeah? Will you put the revs up, please? Yeah? Okay, keep weaving. A lot of searchlights and fighter flares, Skipper. Yeah, keep on. Okay, boys, okay. Left.
The front panel is uncluttered, with only essential controls and big knobs to be used by gloved hands at 25,000 feet.
Bomb doors open. Hello, Bombardier. Okay when you are. Bomb doors open. Bomb doors open, Bombardier. Right. Steady. Bomb's going in a minute, Bomb. Hey, Jimmy, try to behind us.
To avoid confusion, the dial calibrations only show the band in use. The original inspection stamps are still very vivid.
Where is he, Red Gunner? Can you see him? Down! He's chopped down!
An orange stamp from the factory.
Did you shoot him down? Yeah, he's got him, boy, right in the middle. Bloody good.
And it even passed the M1 test. This cover looks inviting. We'll have a look inside.
Just keep weaving. There's some slack coming at me. Okay, don't shout all at once. Alright.
There's the underneath of two RF valves on the right, and at the left is the output pentode. Looks like somebody's replaced a capacitor there, an electrolytic in the cathode circuit.
Hello, Skipper. Will you turn on to 081? Right.
That's the oscillator tube, and the gearing for the band change.
081, Navigator. Don't all speak at once now. Keep quiet.
Earlier versions used tubes with top caps. This is the version with the single-ended tubes, and it makes it look a bit neater. Don't worry about the VT numbers. The valves used are a common American type, still readily available, but hardly matters because they basically last forever.
Okay. Okay. Hello, mid-gunner. Did you recognize that fighter you shot off?
The impedance tapping diagram of the audio output transformer.
No, I didn't recognize it, but it's definitely going down now. Good, Jimmy, I can see it, boy. Good show.
A look into a couple of the coil boxes on the top.
I can see him now. Yeah, look at him burning. Doesn't he look lovely? Good show, lads. Now keep your eyes open. Okay, Ken. Okay. Where's that bomb's gone? Yeah.
Dimming pot for the dial lights. This is the only modification. It could easily be removed and the original connectors are still there and wired up. And also thanks to Mr. B for not modifying the set and improving it, or trying to improve it like a lot of hams did. Miniaturising them, put miniature valves in, solid statorising them, drilling holes, putting VU meters in, plugs and sockets that weren't meant to be there. So this one is pretty much the way it turned out from the factory. Get the light right, the under chassis view.
Okay, well I can read my watch in the searchlights. That's 21:54. Flag coming down for close. Heading 100. 21:54. Go to the slot as best we can. Okay.
All high quality components, and they seem to work as specified. The Jenny motor connections haven't been removed, just leads going to an external power supply. The valve filaments are still running in 28 volt series mode.
Speed's the answer now. The idea is to steer about 020.
A peek into the underneath coil boxes.
Put 020 on, you know? Okay, bomb's gone. Okay. Where's that bomb's gone? Yeah. Okay. On the searchlight, that's 21:54. Flag coming down for close. Heading 100. 21:54. Go to the slot as best we can. The idea is to steer about 020.
The 4-stage tuning gang is driven by a worm gear. It's 100 turns end to end and makes for quite a high resolution scale. A back view and some of the coil adjustments, although I won't be touching them.
020. Put 020 on, you know? 020, okay. Flight directly beneath.
The spot the original Jenny motor fitted in.
Come on, keep it, Tommy, get cracking.
This is how it looked with the original Jenny motor in place.
How many searchlights would you call that?
It was a neat little power supply unit.
Couple of thousand.
The radio doesn't use much power, and most people built a little power supply in the place where the Jenny motor was located. But Mr. B built a massive power supply almost as big as the set itself. Looks like it could run a 100-watt transmitter.
Certainly illuminates things, doesn't it? Sure does.
It's very well built and over-engineered, but it did work in the electrical power distribution industry.
Do the fight. Keep your eyes peeled. Yeah. They're firing at us now. Are they? Yeah.
In the 60s, he must have bought a lot of that yellow Waltham's disposal store wire. It was terrible stuff to work with, but I guess it wouldn't burn out. Look how neatly he's done the looms.
Okay.
It seems to drive a loudspeaker plenty loud enough, despite the impedance mismatch. Does that cause wind noise? Not much. It's pretty good. I checked the sensitivity, it seemed to be pretty good. A few microvolts on all ranges. Well, the big test, let's see how it performs on single sideband.
Does a little bit of work in Young. So I've been flown up to Canberra a couple of times, and it's about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hour drive to Young or something like that. And I know there's also wine country near Canberra, Murrum Baton or something like that, a bit of wine country, Nick, over.
Yeah, there certainly is. There's plenty of it around. Yeah, in between Yass and...
CQ, Victor Kilo 3, Juliet Golf, portable calling CQ and listening.
VK 3 Juliet Golf, VK Victor Kilo, VK 2 Queens and Kings the call. Name's Kieran, the Kilowatt Echo India Radio Alpha November. The name is Kieran and they're located nearby Sydney little place called BO. I'm out in the country zone, but I'm close to the city. Anyway, good afternoon. You didn't quite catch the name. I hope I got that call sign. VK3 Juliet Golf from VK Kilo.
Okay there, Kieran. Is the call sign Victor Kilo 3, Victor Kilo QSL?
No, VK2.
VK3 not too bad, but usually can't hear any VK2s, and some of the low down south VK4s that sort of jumps over them, but you're booming through, mate, so a great signal.
Seven megs okay and even usable on 14.
VK2 VRC.
Yeah, very good, Mike. It's been a absolutely pristine winter's day here. Started out with a heavy fog overnight and early morning. It was cool this morning, but not overly cold. And the fog cleared and we had a perfect cloudless sunny day.
It only covers the top part of the broadcast band and the extended section. But that's where the narrowcast stations are, with the foreign language broadcasts, religious transmissions and minor interest stations. So it's a bit like tuning shortwave. We'll check 160 to see if there's anyone on narrowband FM.
Welcome to the land of buzz. I'm afraid I have another issue to contend with. These are test missions on 160 metres, and I'm very happy to have Frank here, and I think Frank's coming through really, really well, but unfortunately the interface is doing wrong things, which it wasn't doing before RF was present. So I will say a warm hello to you, Frank, and we'll have to work out where we go from here, but wondering if you're coming through. So,
hi, Steve.
Hi, Frank. Well, you probably can hear the buzz. So, test missions on 160. This is in the true sense of the word. We are testing comprehensively here and not entirely succeeding at this juncture. Frank, do you want to say something? Hello.
It's great to be on the on this particular missions, Steve.
Oh, look, it's wonderful to have you here, Frank. We'll just ignore the hum and the buzz, and we'll just persevere for the moment.
Well, Well, let's do that, but also let's look forward to perhaps other people coming on as guest joiners, co-presenters as well, or whatever.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I think it would add a whole new dimension to this if we could do something like that. I'm sort of mucking around as we speak, so yeah.
Of course, it doesn't matter.
No, that's right. Well, once it's contained, it's sort of okay. But
it's just a curiosity.
It's a little bit better. We may have a pathway. Well, I'll admit you back into it, into the chat in a moment there, Frank, if you're listening, and we'll just, I'll just have to tidy things up here before I trip over something. PK3SL.